Hello, this is Rolf from Tesla Owners US, and today is another nice day because we are picking up Lainey's Model Y. Again, another Model Y, and it seems to be that this is the most sold car, or is going to be the most sold car. And what is that all about? We'll tell you after the intro.
Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
Hello! So what is that all about? It is actually Lainey is one of my referrals, and she ordered a car in April 30th. And I was thinking that about 6-8 weeks delivery time that was promised originally. And then they said, yeah, it's gonna be probably, and I told her it's probably gonna be the end of the quarter. So towards the end of the quarter, they called her and said, it's not gonna happening. So, and he said, yeah, I'm not here in Phoenix. I am being in Washington, and I really cannot pick up the car, and it's then give me the car in November. And then they said, okay, we noticed that. So just after the quarter end, which is now, she ordered the car at 4:30, so in April 30th, and she was thinking she'd get it at the end of June. So now it's mid of July, they called her and said, oh, your car is ready, please pick it up. And then she said, hey guys, I told you I can't pick it up, I'm in Washington. And said, I told you also give it to someone else. But now she was really hesitative, and her husband is in town next week as well, and something needs to be done on the car as well. This comes also after that. And then she said, okay, that's gonna try to pick up the car. So she called me what we can do, and I said, okay, Lainey, I can make it on those 2 days. It was on a Saturday or 2 weeks later on a Saturday or on a Friday. And then she called them and said, oh, it is this Saturday, urgently. And I said, okay. I called John, and John says, you need to be with me. 4 eyes is better than 2 eyes to look at the car. And then we bring it to Thomas as well to have it really inspected, also from the paint job. And I said, okay, we're gonna pick up the car for you, and we drive it to Thomas, and it's gonna stay there until your husband comes and picks it up. And so let's drive to Raintree Road here in Scottsdale and pick up the car. Hello, this is Rolf, and I think we found the car because midnight silver, regular wheels, black interior. That's what she selected. I just sent her the VIN number and asked, hey, Lainey, is that your car? Because she would need to remotely open that for us. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So, and John is going a little bit around the car, and we're gonna look at that right now. Yeah, and here is Brian and Lainey. So I connected with them with FaceTime, and we tried to actually open the car. But the difficulty on that one is that you need to know that you have to go into your account and accept delivery of the car. And that's what we tried to figure out. And actually, it took us a little bit longer to figure that out, to accept the delivery. And we tried multiple times, and I tried multiple times also to open the car. In the meantime, John went around the car and made some nice pictures. And they were really happy, as you can see, because we received the car for them. One of the rear caps was not completely on. It almost fell off. I pressed it back on. So we went through the entire car and showed the entire car to them. And also I explained what they have to do to get into their account, into the accept that delivery. It's a little bit hidden. You have to go a couple of levels down, and only once I accept delivery, and then finally after the acceptance of delivery, also do the wait for a couple of seconds until it's going through. At that point of time, then then I can open the door, basically by having them through their app open the door remotely. And that's how it works. So basically you have to accept delivery before you actually getting into the car. So we had a fun time there, and it's a very tiny picture as you see me on FaceTime there in the corner. And we tried multiple times to open that car. And you see there that is express delivery, and that is actually half in the shade and not in the sun. So there was really not an easy acceptance, because you really would need to see the car in the sun. So we tried multiple times and then came the time when we were successful and opening the car. So, and we showed them around, first one from the outside, and then later when we were successful from the inside. So we checked if the charger is there, if everything is inside, if everything looks good, if there's no obvious problem there. We looked at all of the papers, and all of the papers, what they wanted to do, they have already accepted. With the registration, they were supposed to send the registration to them, but they actually did not. So Lainey had to remind them again to send the registration. Then the first part of the drive, John was driving. He never drove a Model Y before. He drove the ID4 earlier than the Model Y because there was a special promotion on that. He knows how to drive a Tesla because he has a Model S for himself. And yeah, we looked at the rear of the car, of the bench. We flipped the seats over. Basically, we did a full check on everything what was obvious, with the exception of the outside paint. And so there we would like to have an expert really checking that. And so the car from the outside looked good, but there's something on the rear and in the hatch. The hatch was for me a little bit too close down, but there might be some adjustments what they can do in order to have the hatch in the back sticking a little bit out, actually all the way when it's all the way down there. Probably Tesla will tell you that within their specs, for sure. At the same time, I charged my car there. They have a kind of a tiny supercharger there, and I charged it, and then we took the time that John stepped in the car and he drove away. And we said also, at the same time when we showed the car, they were all with us and checked it. Now John drove the car off. From there, actually, he passed there on the right side. There is a kind of a miniature supercharger. And then I took the camera over and filmed John here when I was driving in my car, in my Model S, or actually my wife's Model S, and took that over. And then at the same time, I said goodbye, not before we left. We said goodbye to Lainey and Brian, and we said we're gonna safely bring your car to Thomas. We'll have a detail checked again, and there's a little bit more to be done at Thomas, which comes in another report. And we said goodbye, bye, Lainey and Brian. We'll see you. So then we took the tour, which everybody does now in Arizona, or maybe also in New Mexico. They are driving Raintree Road and driving towards Highway 101. We drove south because that's the direction where Thomas is. And John drove the car, and so we could get some really nice pictures of the car while he was driving. And I think when I tested the car, autopilot was working well, a lane assist was working. I think everything was already adjusted. The only thing what we did not accept at the beginning, we got asked a question that you please accept data exchange. And we're going to leave that up. You can maintain that later. We're going to leave that up to Lainey and Brian if they would accept data exchange with the servers, especially also because now they said they activated the interior camera. So here's the ramp onto the highway, and here we go. John is driving the highway on the highway 101 southwards. And it's really always a nice view, especially also I think many people like that midnight silver color. It's was always very likable in at the Model 3. It probably turns out the same way at the Model Y. So I tried to catch up with him here. From the driving, I drove the Model 3 before because I had rented the blue one. It was an older model. This seemed to be better from the grip on the road. It was more firmer on the road, and I think the suspension was pretty nice and responsive. So, and they took the standard wheels. Later in a portion of that movie or in the next part, I will also show you that you can even take the wheel caps off, and you put some middle inserts in there and some nut caps. Then also the wheels are looking very nicely below there. And that's what I'm gonna show you later. So we drove down on Highway 101 South, and then we exited on Thomas, and we found a way there. It's actually a bus station, but it's not so busy in the valley here, bus driving. And on that bus station, when we drove off that bus station later, we actually exchanged later drivers because we said, I wanted John to drive that car also because he helped to pick it up, and he took the camera as well, and I wanted John to drive the car because he did not drive the Model Y before, and he has now also a comparison towards the ID4. Yeah, and then we came to the bus station. It's a little bit further down the highway. There's Thomas, and here is the driver exchange. So I was passing him, and then he came up, and we started exchanging drivers. And so John drove my car. He did some movie or some pictures, and I drove the Model Y. Yeah. And here we go. Now we are driving. The first portion John was driving, so that we get some pictures for you. And the next portion I'm driving. And we are driving now to Thomas. Yeah, guys, I don't know if you knew about that, but now for $199 per month you can sign up for full self-driving, the latest version for that, and you can test drive basically full self-driving for a month. And then you can say, did I like it or not? Did I not like it? And then you can
In 500
drive,
turn left onto East
test
Corona
the
Avenue.
full self-driving car. It's great.